Hi, YouTubers. Welcome back. My name is Natalka. Today, I have a coffee cake recipe for you guys. So, I was looking for some inspiration last night and I came across a picture of a lemon raspberry coffee cake with a crumble on top, and it looked absolutely amazing. And I was inspired, and now I have to try it. So today, it's not my own recipe. I am testing out a recipe that I found online, which, of course, the link will be in the description of the video. And I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. So it's lemon raspberry coffee cake with a crumble on top. So let's get to it and start baking. All right, the first thing I'm going to get ready is the crumble or the streusel for on top of this coffee cake. So I'm mixing 1/3 cup of brown sugar with 3 tablespoons of white sugar and 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. And I'm really going to work that lemon zest into the sugar so that it can release all its natural oils and really bring out that lemon flavor. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of flour. Again, I'm going to mix that all in, and I'm doing this all by hand. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I have more control by doing it by hand instead of with a fork or whisk or anything else. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. It is room temperature, so it does mix in fairly easily. As you can see, I'm using a fork to just kind of mash it into the mixture. It worked okay, but I found using my fingers to work the butter into the flour and the sugar worked way better. And I could really feel the texture changing, which is what you want. You want it to turn into a very crumbly texture. So once you get that crumbly texture, then you're just going to set this aside until everything else is ready. Next, I'm going to get my sugar and lemon zest ready. So in another small bowl, I'm adding 1 1/4 cups of sugar, and I'm mixing it with 3 tablespoons of lemon zest. And I'm going to mix it with my fingers, and the warmth from my hands, by mixing the lemon zest into the sugar, it's really going to help release all those natural lemon oils, and it's going to infuse with the sugar, making it a much more bold and bright lemon flavor when it's mixed into the rest of the recipe. So work that sugar and lemon zest with your fingers until it almost feels like the sugar is damp. And you'll notice the texture will change a little bit, and so does the color of the sugar. Of course, it's going to turn a little bit more yellow from the lemon zest. Once you have that all mixed in, you're going to set this aside for a few minutes. Next, you're going to put 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter into your mixing bowl, and you're going to add your lemon sugar into it as well. And you're going to put this on your mixing stand and let it cream together until it is creamed together. Put it on your mixing stand and let it mix. While your butter and sugar are mixing, you're going to get some other ingredients ready. So in another bowl, I am mixing 2 cups of flour with 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to whisk that together. Then I'm going to set this aside, and in a little measuring cup, I'm going to measure out a 1/4 cup of whole milk, and I'm going to mix that with 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. This adds extra lemon flavor into our coffee cake, but it also makes buttermilk. When you mix lemon juice and milk, it creates buttermilk. All right, so back to the butter and sugar. Next, you're going to add 3 eggs into it, and you're going to add them one at a time, giving it a chance to mix in. Then you're also going to add a splash of vanilla, or if you really need to measure, 1 1/2 teaspoons. You're also going to add a 1/2 cup of sour cream, and you're going to mix that all together until it's combined. Don't forget to scrape down the sides of your bowl. All right, so now you're going to add half of your dry ingredients, and you're going to put it back on your mixer and let it start mixing. As it's mixing, you're going to add your milk and lemon juice mixture, your buttermilk, and you're going to, again, let it keep mixing. As it's mixing, you're then going to add the rest of your dry ingredients, and you're only going to let it mix until it starts to incorporate until it starts to look like it's all incorporated. You don't want to overmix it. So if you still see flour and it looks a little lumpy, that's okay. Take it off your mixer and just mix it by hand a little bit until it looks smooth. All right, so now I'm going to take a couple pints of raspberries and I'm going to wash them and I'm going to dry them. Well, dry them the best that I can. Raspberries are so delicate. They squish so easily. So do this very carefully. You only need roughly 2 cups of raspberries. I'm doing way more because I am going to turn them into something else as well. But for now, you need to wash and dry all your raspberries. Then you're going to put them in a bowl. I'm only going to put a little bit in a bowl at a time. I'm not going to put them all in. And you're going to add a sprinkle of flour in them and coat them in some flour. And that helps keep them from sinking to the bottom of your cake. So only do a couple at a time because you don't want all your raspberries covered in flour, especially if you don't use them all. All right, so my oven is preheating to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I have a greased and floured 9-inch pan. It is a really deep springform pan. I put half of the cake batter in it and spread it out. And then I'm adding a nice layer of raspberries, as many as you want or as few as you want. Then I'm going to take more of the cake batter, actually the rest of it, and I'm going to just spread the rest of the cake batter over top of this layer of raspberries. Spread it out all evenly, the best you can. And then I'm going to take more raspberries and I'm going to spread another layer of raspberries across the top of this cake batter. All right, so once you have all your raspberries and your cake batter all layered up all nice, then you're going to take that crumble that you made at the beginning of the video, the streusel, and you're going to put clumps of it and sprinkle it all across the top of your cake. And put it all on. Don't save any. Put all that crumble on there. Then it's going to go into the oven and it's going to bake for somewhere between 65 to 90 minutes, roughly. Depends on your oven. Mine definitely took the 90 minutes. Actually, I think it took a little longer. And if you find the top of your cake is just getting way too dark, just put a piece of tin foil over it. And that way the inside will cook without burning the top of your cake. You'll know it's done when you insert a toothpick and it comes out clean. Then you're just going to let it completely cool before you try and take it out of the pan. So this part is totally optional. I'm going to make a raspberry sauce with the rest of my raspberries. So I'm going to start by putting them all into a blender. And then I'm going to grab a small little pot and I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar to it, 3 tablespoons of orange juice, and 1 tablespoon of Grand Marnier. The Grand Marnier is completely optional. You don't have to add it. Just add a little bit more orange juice instead. All right, so I'm going to just whisk that all together. And then I'm going to take it over to the stove and bring it to a simmer until the sugar all dissolves and it looks kind of clear. Once it's reached a simple syrup texture, I'm going to very slowly drizzle it into my blender while the blender's turned on to about a medium speed and pour the simple syrup in a steady stream into the raspberries. And then I'm going to turn it on high and really blend those raspberries. I want it so silky and smooth. All right, so once your raspberries are all blended, then you're going to stop your blender. You're going to grab a measuring cup or a bowl, and you're going to put a fine mesh sieve over it, and you're going to pour your raspberry sauce into your fine mesh sieve. And all you're doing is removing all of those raspberry seeds, because really, who likes getting those stuck in your teeth? It's such a terrible feeling. So we're going to remove as many seeds as we can. So push your sauce through that fine mesh sieve. Once you've done that, then you just give your sauce a little whisk, just because. You don't really have to. But I also grabbed a spoon and I'm going to taste it. And you know what? It tastes absolutely amazing. And this is going to be not only delicious on the coffee cake, but it is going to be so good on some pancakes or crepe or some fresh fruit. It's going to be delicious. All right, so I'm going to go put this in a little squeeze bottle and set it aside until the cake's ready. All right, so the cake is nice and cool. I'm just going to run a knife around the edge to make sure it's not stuck to the sides of my pan. Then I'm going to pop the cake out. Now, like I said, I'm using a springform pan, so it's easy to take the side of the pan off of the cake. All right, it's ready. Now I'm just going to slice it into a couple pieces, put it on a fancy plate, add some of my raspberry sauce, and it is ready to serve. All right, you guys. So the cake turned out beautifully. It feels really soft and moist. It's also very dense and heavy, but it looks amazing. So as you see here, I put a little bit of the Raspberry Coulis over it. That is completely optional. You could do like a lemon icing on top, just a little drizzle, a little glaze. I chose the Raspberry Coulis only because I had all those extra raspberries and I didn't want them to go bad or go to waste. So I turned them into something. And it was super simple, as you guys saw, very, very easy to make. So, as I said in the beginning, I found this recipe online. I have never tried it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this actually tastes. So let's give it a try. Oh my gosh, you guys. Wow. It is packed, packed full of flavor. The lemon it's tart, but not overpowering. And the raspberries, oh, they just complement the lemon so beautifully. And then you have the crumble on top. Oh my gosh, it adds that crunch in there and that burst of sweetness. It is absolutely fantastic. Oh, this recipe, definitely give it a try. I give it, 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, whatever you want to give it. This one is worth trying. I don't think I'm going to change anything about it. I love it. So go check it out. The link is in the description. It's fantastic. It also tells you different variations that you could try. I love it just the way it is. This is awesome. So I'm really happy I tried this one. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Remember to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell. That's it for today's recipe. It was a little bit tedious, a little bit long, but absolutely worth it. It turned out fantastic. I can't wait to eat this all weekend. All right, that's it. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you guys all next week.